Here we go. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today for a few minutes to answer a few questions about your experience so far with the locker room and your experience through track. You were one of the key players kind of going throughout. So I appreciate you showing up, setting numbers, staying committed, and finishing, really. So
kind of.
well, yes, you finished.
I didn't get the certificate yet. I need to actually finish.
Okay, well, yes, you have to do that.
Yes, for sure.
So since starting track, how many units have you sold or have got under contract? Like, tell me about your business. Like, what business did you get kind of going through track?
So because I was trying to do more on social media, which I'm still juggling that whole stinking time management. That is just absolutely key for me. I did get my first listing and, potentially the two other ones. And then I had like, it was kind of crazy because I was out of town at the beach and did my Zoom. I was trying to do my Zoom as I'm walking my mother through this museum in the Outer Banks. And then that same day, I got my first lead that I was working during track and converted them. And they are under contract, but not without difficulty. So I've learned a couple of things I've learned more than a couple of things, but just out of that one thing, they are under contract because Susanna swooped in and kind of forced them in a direction for new construction, which I'm not well versed in all of that yet, but it's a whole story. So, but they're under contract. And I worked them for those 3 weeks. And when they wanted to fire me, the wife wanted to fire me, who had never met me, nor gone to any showings, nor texted me ever, never shared one word with me. She wanted to fire me because I wasn't doing my job. Anyway, Susanna swooped in. We meet with the husband and have a conversation. I'm like, listen, it's okay. He's like, I'm so sorry. I get it. It's okay. So I learned a lot from that. And I will tell you, I learned open house game. That's a lot because I've gotten several contacts from those. That was a great week for me to learn as well.
Yeah. So what would you say were the two things that made the biggest impact for you?
Definitely the open house. And well, again, I will constantly reiterate time management, which I desperately am working on. But I like the open house, and even things like making myself get used to using scripts or get used to using that whole concept. Because for me, one thing I've learned, I just like to kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I like to be spontaneous, but I'm learning that doesn't really work for
non-real estate, not too much.
No,
I mean, it may work for a little while, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll plateau. You'll hit a ceiling, and then you're like, oh, what's going on? What happened?
Yeah.
It's working,
Yeah.
And then you don't know how you got there, right? So it's almost like you have to start over, which is why tracking your numbers is so important, right? You need to build that habit of tracking numbers.
Yeah.
The whole time management thing takes some intentionality, behind it. And it takes time to get used to having to do that. So give yourself a little grace. It's not something that you're going to get done in a week and be like, oh, I'm a time blocking ninja. I got 1 week of time, time management stuff done. It doesn't work that way. So be kind to yourself. It takes a little while. And sometimes you have to try different things to see what works best for you as far as how your schedule can go, can look like going forward. And again, at the end of the day, you can schedule your perfect week, and then the shit hits the fan, and then you're like, awesome, this was not what I planned. Like stuff like that happens. So you have to be able to be fluid with your schedule, your time, have structure, have it planned, but know that sometimes, like I have children, so they could wake up and be sick one day. I would have to cancel and take them to that. Like life just happens, right? So, but the whole idea about the time blocking is to be proactive with your day and schedule. So you don't have too many days of, what am I supposed to do today? Who am I supposed to call? What lead gen am I going to be doing? Because you'll have days and days and days and weeks and weeks and months of that. and you'll wake up and like 3 months have passed by, I don't have a closing. That's the whole point of getting some sort of structure in your schedule so you can do those dollar producing activities, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So don't
Yesterday
beat
I
yourself
did
up.
that. Well, I had my day for like, I do know something about my husband is very rigid. He's very organized. He's a perfectionist. Blah, blah, blah. I'm only a perfectionist when it comes to organizing my home, which you would not be able to tell at this moment because I've sat my butt and worked on my computer all day. Anyway, so I've learned over the years that I can't block an hour. I have to block half hours.
Yes.
So I put down exactly what I'm going to do in these half hours. And like today, I'm going through my half hours and I have track with Melissa 1:30. Like I already know that's going to happen. And then I can piece and build around from there.
Right.
But yesterday I had the same thing. I was going to go to Susanna's. The whole team was going to work together. No, 20 minutes, my dog. After I dropped my child, my youngest is 13, 20 minutes after I dropped him off at school. Mrs. Smith, Uriah fell during basketball. Okay, I'll be there soon. Fractured his radius.
Oh my God.
There goes my whole day.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that's okay. I grab my computer bag. I'm in the doctor's office, hotspot into my phone on my computer.
But you know what? When in a given year, we're gonna have less of those days than we are great days, right? Yesterday was another, like for me, that was my day yesterday with my kids. I had to go to their school 3 times. One, to drop them off in the morning, sit in the parent drop-off line and drop them off. They're about to get out of the car. They don't have their book bags. And I'm like, how does that even happen? Like, I don't like, they don't have the book bags. And they're like, oh, well, just come back and drop it off. I'm like, no, you forgot your book bag. You're shit out of luck. Goodbye, get out, you know? And I mean, I did bring them back. I was messing with them. So I had to go home, come back, sit in that line again, just so I could make it up to the front of park to bring the book bags in. Go home. I just kicked off a call and I see the school calling. I said, guys, you have to give me a sec. Like school's calling. I don't know what the hell happened. Ariel spilled milk on her pants. This is the nurse's station. I'm like, okay, and well, she needs another pair of pants. I'm like, well, I can be there in like an hour. That's not an emergency. She spilled milk on her pants. The girl will live. She'll be fine.
He's gonna smell a little sour.
So an hour later, I go back to the school to bring her a change of clothes, you know? And my daughter looks at me like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't need pants. And I'm like, well, we're gonna take pants because the school can come bring you these stupid pants. And she didn't even change. She had the same pants on.
Oh my word.
So I was like, days like that happen, you know, but I don't have more days like that than I, you know, than days that, you know, so we just have to learn to give ourselves grace and patience that things happen for a reason. Maybe where you plan to be wasn't going to be, you know, what you thought it was. And so you were saving time, you know, so I like to think about things in that way when I'm having a really frustrating day. I'm like, God, thank you for saving me for what I don't know what is going on. So anyway, so you may not be able to answer this next question because I'm not sure if you've experienced any other coaching, but how would you compare the locker room to maybe some other coaching that you've seen, coaching companies, or if you've had coaching before?
So I haven't technically had like legit coaching, I guess. I've seen some other coaching or maybe just like groups that happen when we're doing the whole flex realty, whatever, and they come out and they're like, let me rattle off all these things that you should learn in the next 5 minutes and bam, we're done, eat some lunch. So for me, not being able to compare it to a lot of things, I like the fact that for one, we have to see your face. That really does make a person more accountable. Oh my gosh, I have to face her this week. Like 0 numbers. You know what I mean? I'm going to be on that call and everybody's going to be like, here's my good news. I'm going to be like, I don't have any. Just ignore me. You know what I mean? So it is a little more, not intimidating. That's not the right word, but encouraging maybe to get some crap done, you know, during the week. Although there were weeks that I looked back and I was like, why did I not have time to spend 3 hours on this? You know, I should have had 3 hours, but it just didn't happen, you know? And it's again, one of those things where I'm like, I really need to block off that time and just dedicate. I have to be dedicated. I was
Yeah.
talking to someone yesterday. I was actually talking to a lender, and they were like, you can either, because I work for my husband as well.
Yeah.
And well, they're like, you can either, put 110% into real estate, or you can just do it part-time and not really make any money. And I'm like, I mean, you're telling me that my working 27 times for my husband over the next 180 days is going to keep me from making money. Like,
Mhm.
I have to prioritize certain things. I can't just fall out of this role that I have become in control of certain aspects for Josh. So he doesn't have to worry. Andrea's going to run this for me. I don't have to worry about it. I can't just leave him high and dry. I have to train someone else so that next year, when I am busier with real estate, I can be like, sorry, babe, love you, but I got to do my work. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's balancing right now. But that you either need to do this or you're not going to get this, that hard kind of coaching, that works for me, because it kind of just makes me upset.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, fine, I will prove you wrong. I will
Yeah.
prove I
Yeah.
can do this. So
Well, and I think for agents, like, I feel like agents view lead generation as so black and white, right? Like, you can do this,
yeah,
you can do that, you can do that. But really, just be you and create your lead generation around who you are and what you're already doing. It doesn't have to be so black and white. Do we give you ideas so that you
yes,
can then branch out if you maxed out, the people that you really have close to you? These are other avenues that you can try or do, but it has to be something that, one, you enjoy doing, and two, that you're already good at. Like,
yes,
I don't cold call, I don't like it, I don't do it. I would much
that is,
rather take somebody to lunch, network,
yes,
have a conversation. I do so much better that way. Does it take me longer to convert people sometimes? Yes, but sometimes no. I went to an appointment, I met with a network, because the people in my group, for me to refer you, I need to like get to know you, maybe work with you. So I've been reaching out to each member one-on-one to get to know them a little bit more, So I made an appointment to meet with this person that does cleans carpets and flooring and stuff. And as soon as we sat down, I'm ready to ask questions about her business. How can I help you? And she's like, I have to sell my house. Who would have known? Like,
okay,
she knows tons of people, right? So like sometimes those things happen, so, but I enjoy doing it. I love getting to know people. How can I support your business?
yes,
So you just create your lead gen around who you are, what you're doing, what you're good at, and then be creative with it. So,
yes, yes,
so
great idea.
awesome. What would you say to somebody who is on the fence for signing up for track? Like, if they were on the fence about doing it?
If they were on the fence, I would say if it wasn't my money, so that's kind of, if I had spent the money on it, I probably would have been a little more, rigid in my getting it done. But if they're on the fence, and I would probably just say, that's a quick question. This is going to give you many different avenues to be able to create your brand
Mhm.
and what you want to do, instead of doing that black and white, what everybody else does. If there was one recurring theme, I feel like I heard you say a lot, was do what works for you.
Mhm.
Gary doing farming in the neighborhoods and doing all the market statistical things, nope, not going to be me.
And
Not
it's
going to be me.
okay. It's
And it is
okay.
okay. I'm learning that it is okay, because I have I'm just more of a personal connection. The officer cop that works for UNC, when I was working for my husband last night, and he comes, I saw your little blonde head down there. And
Mhm.
he comes and talks to me, and we're like, yada, yada, yada. And we were talking about how I got laid off in COVID, but now I'm a realtor. Oh, you are? So yeah. So if you or anybody needs to buy or sell, let me send you my contact card. It's
Right.
way easier for me to do that. I can sell myself way better than I can sell a product.
Yeah. And as you start to pick people up, ask
Mhm.
them, because I did this because I could, so ask them, why did you hire me? Why did you hire
Okay.
me? Like, ask them when you close, like after.
Okay.
Don't let them
I
second
will.
guess while they hired you because you're asking now. So let me just clarify. When you get done, if you don't have a
Okay.
written survey for them to fill out or something that you email them to fill out, I ask people, what is it about me like that made you say, yes, I want you to be my realtor, right?
Okay.
For me, I kept getting from people, you know what, Melissa? I don't know. There was just something about you because I know a ton of realtors in town, but there's just something about you so genuine. Like I just felt so connected to you, you know? And so I was like, okay, that made me realize I have to do video. I can't write that. I can't write how to make people feel, you know? So I knew in my business, I had to really start thinking about really getting into video, because this is how I am all the time. Like I'll do
Yes.
videos and I did this long, and I did a live last night trying to cook dinner really quick, like getting stuff prepped. And I was like, I don't really have a topic for this video. I'm just cooking. I want to know what you're eating. I don't have really nothing to say, but like, good, this is just me all the time, right? So, but that's apparently what people like. So I just had to figure out a way to do this in front of more people. so,
That's a good idea.
so yeah, so find out what it is that attracted people to you, that made them hire you, that will make them refer you to the next person, and then do more of that, you know?
Well, going off of all these people that I see for basketball and football games at UNC, because that's what we run the disability shuttle. I see a lot of older people,
Mhm.
lots of them. And I tell my husband all the time because he's driving during the games. And I was like, so and so said this, so and so said that. And it was the sweetest thing. This man that I had never met before got off the bus. He was one of the last passengers, and we have a new driver, Miss Judy, that was driving him. He gets off the bus, and I was like, hello, how are you this evening? And he was like, well, I'm fine now that I met you. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And he goes to the game, and Miss Judy goes, everybody knows you, Andrea. And I was like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
But it's just that's my, but the people that I do see on a regular basis, oh, it's so good to see you again. Oh, you're still here. Oh, your smiling face. And that is what it is. It's that, but it's so hard for me to do videos. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Let me type this out really
Well,
quick.
and in week 6, it was working with buyers. There was an exercise to ask people to describe you in one word. What is like it when you think of me, what comes to your mind? Like describe me in one word.
So
So
you could do a video like that.
if you didn't do that,
I
go
didn't.
back and do that.
Hi, Melissa.
I'm not gonna say anything. Go back to week 6.
Week 6. I'm
There's
writing
a
it
question
down.
there, and it's pretty much. I summed it up kind of a little
Okay.
bit, but it's pretty much going back to ask people, and you can ask on video and social media. You can post and say, "Hey, describe me in one word," or when
That's
you
a great
think of
idea.
me, what word comes to mind, right? And then you'll get tons of engagement, right?
Yes.
And then you'll see there'll be a few of them that really like people start to repeat about who you are. That's who you are. It's not who you think you are. Sometimes. I mean, yes, we know who we are in a sense, but we're not like when we start to doubt ourselves and talk poor about ourselves and say, hey, I'm this, I'm that, and it's in a negative way. I guarantee you that's not how people see you. So
That's a great
remind
idea.
you to do that and then post those things to remind yourself, this is how people truly see me. And like just be you and continue to keep being you and tie that into your business.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, I should have done that, 7 weeks ago.
So this week, I know it's already Wednesday, but I think you can get that done before Monday.
I think so too.
And let me know how that goes.
Yes, I hear that accountability plug.
Yes. I'm just saying. All right, cool. So one more question.
Okay.
How would you say this experience has affected your life as a whole?
As a whole, it let me know I'm not the only one out there. Like I just got my license in March by the skin of my teeth. It took me 4 times to pass the state exam. Once for the national exam, 4 for the state exam. And that made me feel like the biggest moron on the planet, honestly. I did great in school. I got straight A's. but God forbid I pass the the state real estate exam. Anyway, I really felt like going into real estate that I don't know that you're cut out for this mentally, Andrea, because I'm not feeling really smart about it. So I was a little discouraged, but Susanna, Nanette, several people were encouraging me. And then when I got into it and couldn't really convert any leads, because I just felt like, well, why is this not working? I don't really know what to say when I answer the phone. It's like, hey, how are you?
I know it, girl.
Okay. So it was difficult. So going through this, let me see, even Gary is great. Like, he's just even keel. This is what I do.
He's so calm,
Let me decline that. This is what works. This is what doesn't work. Where did you go? Zoom. There you are. And then Anne as well, just like, I tried this, it didn't work. Or I tried this and it did work. Just hearing all the ideas from people and just hearing that it is definitely just a huge trial and error kind of a thing. And I'm not the only one. Yeah. And it let me know I definitely need to be individualistic about it. It needs to be me. It doesn't need to be like SY Realty. It needs to be Andrea, who is powered by SY and Flex, Right. So if nothing else.
Yeah, and there's an exercise I did. I did pay for like the better, like the upgraded version. It's like $20, but it's called the Strength Finders, the Clifton, I think, Strength Finders test. And it was $20. But it's so creepy how on point it is, but it gives you answer all these questions and it gives you your top 5 strengths. So it's a great way, one, to really learn who you are, because it could not match what you think, right? It could tell you, like, this is based on what you've answered and how you think and whatever. This is where your strengths really rely on. It may not be social media. You might be spending all this time trying to figure out social media when, yes, should you be present? Yeah, but maybe not spend as much time in it. Maybe do something else that is showcasing where you're really going to shine, right? So not that I don't like to always recommend things to pay for, but it was really enlightening. It gives you great detail about each one in a particular order, 1 through 5. So it could be something that, you could look into and try and just kind of see. Again, I just try to get people to realize, do what you're good at, do what you love to do, because you'll be happy doing it, even though you try to be fake on the phone, you're like, hey, you're all like fake because you don't want to cold call people,
I don't. Even when I have to call that lead that Zillow just sent me or that Sync just sent me, when we were role playing we were role playing with scripts on Monday, me and Susanna and Annette, and I was like, okay, no, I got to get into this because it's just so weird.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we did it as a team. So like, okay, take my breath. And I am into it. And it's Susanna and I going back and forth. And at the end of it, she's like, you're just so happy.
What comes off of you and the energy that you give to people that they feed off of is when you're doing those things that you love to do and that brings you joy, and you're already good at it, right? So I recommend all these things. You can really hone in on what it is that you should be focusing on and maybe not what you think you need to be doing.
Yes, and the personality test, that DC whatever.
DISC,
yes. Because I'm an I. So I really do want to kind of delve into that a little further.
Yeah. So it sounds like you need to do more social events, more networking stuff. Like, that's where you're going to find your people. It may not necessarily be on social media unless you're going to do videos.
Yes, I need to just take the time. This is what I look like all the time. I don't want to do videos. I mean, I am in workout clothes, but that's all I've done. I put a sweater on to take my son to school, came home, and I've sat in the bed, except to get a bite to eat downstairs, and that was it. So I do. Tomorrow, I'm putting on the clothes. I'm going out.
Sometimes just getting dressed and putting a face on, if you have to, gives you that energy to push through, just to get started. So
yeah, I do. That's what I need to do. So
Well, don't forget your homework for Monday, your special homework.
Got it. Week 6 video.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I thank you so much for taking this time.
Oh, you're welcome. I like it. I mean, I like group effort, but I definitely enjoy a one-on-one. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty because
Yeah.
people are going to be more honest one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Meaning me, not you. You're going to be yourself because you're the one coaching, but I'm going to be more honest with you.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, awesome. I look forward to Monday.
Yes, me too. 10 o'clock.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.